In this episode, we're going to take a look at 5 anti-Santas from across the globe. So, stick around. Hello everybody, and welcome to the Monster Preservation and Research Society. Come, sit by the fire, get the chill out of your bones. It's nice to get out of the MPRS library every once in a while and enjoy the holiday season. This evening we'll be talking about 5 different anti-Santas from across the globe. There's nothing new about having a heavy to go along with Santa on his yearly trek around the world. Santa needs a bad cop to dole out the punishment to the bad kids every now and again. He doesn't want to get his own hands dirty and soil his own reputation. So why not pick from a host of ghoulish entities to do it for him? It's a custom that spans the world and is a heartfelt tradition for millions. It kinda sucks that us as Americans have a real cookie-cutter Christmas and we don't get to have these types of traditions. Oh well, at least we have Elf on the Shelf to scare the crap out of kids at Christmas time, but that pales in comparison to the things on this list. For our first stop, we're going to France, and we'll be talking about Lapierre Frantz. Lapierre Frantz, or Father Whipper, is a dastardly fellow who accompanies St. Nicholas on his trek on St. Nicholas Day of December 6th. If you're lucky, Pierre Frantz will leave you cold if you've been naughty. But for the ones that aren't so lucky, you get the Cat of Nine Tails. This dirty and filthy anti-Santa dresses all in black and is draped in chains to show his incarceration to St. Nicholas. The origin of Lapierre Frantz dates all the way back to 1150. It says that an innkeeper captured 3 boys that looked wealthy that were on their way to a religious boarding school. Along with his wife, he drugged the children, slit their throats, cut them up, and then put them in stewing barrels. After St. Nicholas discovered this crime, he resurrects the 3 children, forces Lapierre Frantz to be his assistant for the end of time as punishment for his crimes. Our next stop is the Austria region of the Alps, and this is home to Frau Parchita. Parchita was once a popular pagan goddess. She was either a peaceful bringer of light or a vengeful goddess that punished the people who broke the taboo laws. With the onset of Christianity, her role changed drastically. She became a punisher to those that didn't take part in religious celebrations, and stalked loners that did not conform to the new ways of Christianity. When industry began to take over, she became a taskmaster of sorts that would punish employees that weren't living up to their employers' expectations. This also went so far as to punish maidens that did not spin their yearly allowance of wool. As time went on, her role diminished to only that of Christmas time, as she visits children during the 12 days of Christmas. If a child is good, she'll leave a silver piece. But if a child is bad, well, we'll get to that in a second. Children weren't the only ones to be afraid. If anyone ate a large and rich meal on Christmas Eve, they also suffered the same punishment as naughty children. They would have their bellies slit open and all their organs removed. Parchita would then fill their bodies with straw, dirt, and rocks, and leave them to be found on Christmas morning. Our next stop around the globe is Germany. This is the home of Hanstrop. The legend of Hanstrop is actually based on a real person named Hans von Trotha. It is said that he was a rich and greedy man that fought with his neighbors and worshipped Satan. The evil Hanstrop would soon be excommunicated by the Catholic Church and was exiled into the forest. While in the forest, Hans grew more and more insane, until one day he disguised himself as a scarecrow and waited by the roadside. A young boy was walking by, and Trap sprung to life and stabbed the boy and drug his body into the woods. The tale goes on to say that Trap chopped up the boy and put his pieces on a spit and cooked them over a roaring fire. But before he could take one bite of his cannibalistic meal, a bolt of lightning came from the sky and struck him dead. Folklore says that at Christmas time, Hanstrop's spirit takes the form of a scarecrow and tries to lure children into the woods, or snatch them from their beds. It's common for parents to say, "Be good, Hanstrop will come and eat you." For the next entrant on this list, we'll be staying in Germany, and that is Nacht Ruprecht. After cannibals and belly slitters, Ruprecht seems like a nice guy. Also known as Servant Rupert, Nacht Ruprecht is a companion of St. Nicholas that has been appearing since the Middle Ages. He wears a simple, long, brown or black cloak and looks like that of a monk. And in some older texts, he has more of a nature theme. When St. Nicholas comes to bring children gifts, Nacht Ruprecht tags along and will ask the children a simple question. Do you know your prayers? If a child knows his or her prayers, they are rewarded with sweets or cakes from his pockets. But if they do not know their prayers, he will beat them with a stick, or give the stick to the parents so they can do the deed. It was thought that Rupert was once a pagan deity that had his role changed with the onset of Christianity. The story that started appearing in the 17th century said that he was either a farmhand or an abandoned child that St. Nicholas adopted. In some versions of the lore, Rupert walks with a limp and uses a cane to do his deeds. For our last entrant, it is by far the most popular of the anti-Santas, the Krampus. The Krampus even has a following of sorts here in the United States. With an MO that's up there with other members on this list, the Krampus whips and abducts children. He's kind of a beat them first and ask questions later kind of guy. What really separates the Krampus from everyone else on this list is his bestial features. It is theorized that the Krampus is a Christian interpretation of the Horned One, or Horned God, from the pagan beliefs. Scholars believe that the chains and devil-like appearance were added to depower him and paint him as evil and trapped by St. Nicholas. The lore of the Krampus has stretched all the way back to the dawn of Christmas itself. So, I hope everybody enjoyed sitting by the fire and listening to these tales of 5 anti-Santas from across the world. There's plenty more, but we only have limited time this Christmas season. But there'll be more Christmases and more anti-Santas to do Santa's dirty work. So until next time, this was Monster Preservation and Research Society. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give a thumbs up. If you got something to say, please leave a comment. I love reading them and I love getting back to everybody. And if you're new around here and you enjoyed this or any of the other episodes that YouTube is recommending down below, please hit subscribe. If you hit that little bell icon, you'll be notified whenever there's a new episode. So until next time, thanks for watching. Keep being rad and stay dorky.